their psychic abilities, owning their healing abilities, and oftentimes they move into fields that have to do with the healing arts. I believe that all of this was known to the ancient people and that we are just now rediscovering much of this. The source of life on Earth being the DNA molecule, and that that DNA is a very strange thing that is a great mystery yet. So let's talk about the shaman experience. Humans have had shaman experiences for as long as there have been humans in existence. We have cave art that goes back as much as 32,000, 35,000 years, that now, just barely, anthropologists are beginning to recognize that this cave art, often hidden deep in caves that take a long journey to get to, so it's not like they're doing it as a billboard or anything. They depict non-human type of figures, anthropomorphic figures, and this stuff is everywhere, all over the world. This is from Africa, but you can find it in the American Southwest. You can find it wherever you go. So this is one clue that shamanic journeys have been with us as long as there have been humans around. So how do you have a shamanic journey? Well, first of all, am I doing something wrong? Okay, well, hope that, there you go, it's still on. How do you have a shamanic experience? Well, some certain number of people naturally have shamanic experiences. These are people that are just born with a gift. People like Edgar Cayce, who went into a trance and his consciousness could leave and go wherever he wanted to go, and diagnose people's illnesses and prescribe the cure. Other people are not so lucky. You have to work at it. There are some people who have this experience the hard way, through the near-death experience. That's a hard way to become a shaman, to die and then wake up and remember what you were told. And I put people like Dannion Brinkley and other people that have had that experience, changed their lives, and they turned their lives toward helping others. But then there are those who work at it and who have, for centuries and millennia, found methods to get them to these other realities. These are the methods, various methods that are used would be tribal dancing for days upon day until they practically drop over. Chanting, tribal drumming, fasting. It's usually a difficult road to reach these other realities. More to the point and easier to achieve is to consume holotropic plants, or brews made with holotropic plants. It's not something I advise people to do. I've never done it myself. But interestingly, some scientists are doing that to learn the shamanic experience. And these plants have certain chemicals that interact with the brain and allow apparently the consciousness of the person to leave the body. This is just to show you an illustration from one of my subjects regarding a non-human entity that we would categorize as insectoid or praying mantis-like. And I have found in rock art, cave art, representations that look a lot like this, that are hundreds and thousands of years old. These different brews or drugs that are used are called by different names in different cultures. In the Amazon, there is a brew made up of a couple of different plants that is called ayahuasca. That is a name that you will probably be hearing more about. In some places in the Amazon, it's called yahe. In Africa, the shamans call their brew biwiti. In other places, ayaboga. Some people just call them magic mushrooms, peyote. But they all have same thing in common. They contain in them the chemicals or the molecules that are necessary to achieve this transcendental state where they go into other realities and they commune with beings. Now, in late 2003, I called Dr. Mack to talk to him about a book that I had just finished reading that really blew me away. And he was very interested in this book because not only did he know about it, but he had actually endorsed that book. And I was interested to hear his take on it. And this was the beginning of what I call the reptilian project that John Mack and I and a researcher from California, Barbara Lamb, were working on at the time that John was killed. The three of us were going to put on a presentation at the conference in Laughlin, Nevada, March of 2005. John was killed September of 2004. So that through that presentation up in the air, Barbara and I ended up doing the presentation by ourselves. And John was going to talk about the reptilian cases that he had. The reason being that he felt badly that he had not addressed the issue of reptilians head on. Not many people had, okay? Linda Howe had, in her book, Glimpses of Other Realities. John Carpenter, who was the head of, director of alien abductions for MUFON, wrote a couple of columns about reptilians. He had a dozen cases or so in his files. Dr. Carla Turner, the late Dr. Carla Turner, wrote about reptilians. But none of the major researchers were saying anything about reptilians. But Hopkins, David Jacobs, mum is the word, okay? And John Mack also. And John, and for good reasons, reptilians take the UFO abduction discussion to a whole new level. Reptilians bring up the idea of demonic intervention. Reptilians bring up the issue of the beast. Reptilians bring up satanic cults. Reptilians are scary, and people don't want to talk about them because they don't want to deal with all of those issues. And it's hard enough being a scientist and getting science to approve of your research without getting into reptilians, reincarnation, and religion. Okay? So, I thought it was amazing that John was telling me over the phone that he felt it was time for him to speak out. And he wanted me to be involved, and he wanted Barbara Lamb to be involved. He was a bit concerned about, oops. No, well, I think I got them mixed up. Okay. That's a drawing from one of my subjects of reptilian, and typically